Hi there, and welcome to Season 2 of Thread Talks. I'm Tuthi Gunawardhanar, and I'm part of the in-house creative team at Twinery, and we're here talking to Malik Ahamadeen. He is the Group Director of Growth and Business Development.
Thank you for having me on the show, Tuthi.
Thank you so much for being here. All right, shall we get to the questions?
Yep.
All right, let's start off with the most important one. What do you think is your most important role within your job at MAS?
Creating profitable growth for the organization and a balanced portfolio of customers for the group.
How are you creating this profitable business for MAS?
So, I think my role as the director for growth, I have to have two caps. One is growth by itself, and the second one is the right customer for MAS and our capability. So, in a good market, there is a lot of business and most customers want to grow with us. In a bad market, whom do we go to bed with is very important. Whom do we go deep with? So I think managing these two dynamics is my job.
How important is business development for MAS's expanding footprint?
So MAS is currently expanding rapidly. Our first billion came in 20 years, second billion in 10. It looks like the third billion will come in 5. And we are also in 16 or 17 countries. So we are placed well for that rapid growth. I can see ourselves being 5 billion in no time.
This all sounds very impressive, but how do you future-proof a company that size?
So there's many elements to future-proofing. Being relevant in the digital space, ensuring that we understand the customer, staying ahead in manufacturing practices, including lean, automation, modernization, automation, things like that. And most importantly, product creation and technical ability. I think we have a special skill in Sri Lanka and our Sri Lankan people that is most sought after. I think that's the one that's going to take us home.
You talked about staying ahead and you touched upon innovation. How are you able to foster that mentality?
So I think MAS allows our leaders to innovate, fail fast and fail forward. I think we allow leaders to take risks. So I think that is the key. We learn and we move forward. And though we have a culture also of a KPI driven culture, I think the key is for leaders to be able to innovate and fail forward. I think that's the difference at MAS.
You touched upon staying in touch with the consumer mindset. How is that affecting the way we grow and develop product?
So we have two aspects. One is we have a group of people in our company who go to market and understand the consumer. And another group, we work with the brands that we serve and listen to the voice of that customer. What are they telling us? We try to also understand what the consumer doesn't know they want. So these three things are what we bring together, and we have a knack of not just delivering product that the customer, which is the brand, wants from us. We also are ahead of the game by understanding the consumer. So that's, I think, one of the big strengths that MAS has.
Are global brands affecting MAS's global footprint?
Yes. So most often than not, we go to a new country with the blessing or a backing of a customer. For instance, customer X would tell us to go to Jordan for the reasons of duty into the US, or customer Y will tell us to go to Haiti because it's near shore to the mainland North America. So we go with the customer backing most of the time, at least up to now. But in the future, we may make some bets on our own of going to a destination where we believe has some kind of duty advantage, speed, or just being near shore.
So traditionally, MAS has been primarily focused on the European and North American markets. Do you see that changing?
Yes. So traditionally, in the last 30 years, we have been shipping our apparel to North America and Western Europe, and we do 70% of our products for that market. But only 9% of our products go to Asia and 11% to Asia Pacific, including Australia and New Zealand. We want to make a shift to when we are 3.5 billion, we believe we should be 15% of our product should go to Asia, and for two reasons. One is our overexposure to the West, and the second reason is there are some very exciting brands in the East that we haven't tapped into, and most importantly, the growing market between India, China, and Indonesia, and some of the countries. We have more than 3.2 billion people in this side of the world, and I think the middle class in these countries are also growing. So that's where the disposable income will be.
What excites you about getting to develop more product and grow within the Asian region?
I think the excitement is in the new ways of working. Asia is not Europe, or Asia is not the West. India requires different kinds of solutions. Japan requires different kinds of solutions, whether it's quality or types of products or fit. So I think there's a lot of excitement in Asia when it comes to product and business model, and we need to adjust and check and adjust our organization to suit those requirements and also be able to deliver.
So this expansion requires a different business model than what we've currently been using or established?
Yes, absolutely. Each one of these countries, may it be speed, may it be the fabric type, whether they are digital or whether they are selling through brick and mortar or both. So there is a business model difference in the future proposition.
All right, so we were talking about shifting business models, shifting brands, but have there been any consumer shifts that we should be paying attention to?
So, Tuti, in the last 2 years, I think it's a known secret that our lives changed during the pandemic, and the way we buying patterns of the consumer, how we go to work, how we did sport, how we did physical exercise, not go to a gym, do it at home. All of this actually did change the consumer's behavior and the patterns of buying, and the brands had to check adjust quite fast. And we also saw some smaller emerging brands that ate into the pies of the larger brands with that change.
How important is it for an apparel manufacturer to pay attention to these shifts in consumer mindsets?
Absolutely important. I think every brand has their intel teams and research teams that spend time immersed in the consumer space. Some of them even live with the consumer. There are focus groups, they even live for long periods of time to understand these shifts. So as MAS, we have our own intelligence teams, and we also keep our ears to the ground to see what these shifts are so that we can make the adjustments early.
So my last question to you would be, I want to touch upon your business acumen here, and I'd like you to share some of your wisdom with us. So from your personal experience, what is the best way to convince someone to buy into your plan or direction?
What has worked for me is to try to paint a picture of success in those people's minds, and also that gives me clarity of what the purpose of what we are doing. But most importantly, to ensure that the others understand what's in it for them. If you get these two right, one is painting a picture of success and that you believe in it, and the second thing is I am thinking about you and what's in it for you. If we have those two covers, generally people will follow you and they'll come with you where you're going.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for the detail, the insightful conversation, and the message of inspiration at the end.
Thank you, Tuti. It's great being here.
Thanks so much.